Behind every royal headline, there's a hidden truth. The world is watching The Crown once again. This is Golden Crown Insider, where royal secrets become headlines. Today we are telling the story of the warnings nobody listened to. The concerns that were raised quietly, carefully, by people who loved Harry, before the engagement, before the wedding, before the documentaries, before Spare, before all of it. Warnings that Harry dismissed as jealousy, as interference, as the palace trying to control him. Warnings that, with the distance of nearly a decade, are now being seen in a very different light. This is not a story about blame. It is not a story about whether Harry made the right choice or the wrong one. It is a story about what happens when a man who has spent his entire life feeling unseen and unloved finally feels chosen, and what that feeling can make you unable to hear. Subscribe right now if you are new here. Hit that bell, because this story connects threads that have been lying in plain sight for years. And today, Golden Crown Insider is lining them all up for you. Let's go back to late 2017. November. Harry and Meghan have just announced their engagement. The world is celebrating. The palace is preparing. And behind closed doors, the people closest to Harry are having very different conversations. Prince William was anxious about the speed at which the romance was moving. According to Harry's own memoir Spare, William told his brother directly that things were moving too fast, too soon. Royal author Robert Jobson wrote in The Windsor Legacy that William was simply uneasy, that he thought Harry was moving too fast and did not know Meghan well enough. Yahoo! Too fast. Too soon. Those were William's words. And Harry heard them and felt them as an attack, as jealousy, as the palace establishment trying to clip his wings one more time. Harry addressed this directly in an ITV interview in 2023. When presenter Tom Bradby asked whether William had tried to dissuade him from marrying Meghan, Harry said no, but he admitted that William had aired some concerns very early on, saying this is going to be really hard for you. And Harry said something quietly devastating. He said that to this day, he does not truly understand which part of what William was talking about. ABC News to this day, he does not truly understand. That sentence, said years later. After everything. After the documentary. After the book. After California. After all of it. Harry still says he does not fully understand what William was warning him about. Or perhaps, and this is the question that sits at the heart of today's story, he understands now. And understanding now, after so many bridges have burned, is its own kind of painful. But William was not the only one who raised concerns. Because there was another voice. Older. Blunter. Legendary for saying exactly what he thought regardless of the consequences. Prince Philip. According to royal biographer Andrew Loney in his book entitled, Prince Philip issued a stark warning to Harry after the engagement was announced. His exact alleged words were, "One steps out with actresses, one does not marry them." And according to royal author Ingrid Seward, Philip was one of the very few who was wary of Meghan from the very beginning, when Harry first started dating her in 2016. Yahoo! One steps out with actresses. One does not marry them. Harsh. Blunt. Deeply old-fashioned. And entirely in keeping with the man who spent 99 years saying the quiet part out loud while everyone else managed their words. Former royal butler Grant Harold claimed that Philip's private reaction to the wedding itself was telling. After leaving the chapel at Windsor Castle following the ceremony, Philip allegedly turned to the Queen and said, "Thank goodness that is over." IMDb, not congratulations. Not how beautiful. Thank goodness that is over. Now, both of these warnings can be read two ways. And Golden Crown Insider always gives you both. The first reading is that these were establishment figures, men shaped by a world of rigid tradition and class structure, who could not see past the fact that Meghan was an American, an actress, a biracial woman from outside their world. That their concerns were rooted not in genuine insight, but in prejudice. In the very institutional thinking that Harry himself has said caused so much damage. And that reading has validity. It cannot be dismissed. Philip's comment about actresses was not a sophisticated geopolitical analysis. It was the reflexive snobbery of a man from another era. And William's concerns, while perhaps well-intentioned, were framed in a way that Harry experienced as an insult to the woman he loved. But there is a second reading, and it is the one that is becoming harder to ignore as the years pass. What if the concerns were not about who Meghan was, but about the speed? About the intensity? About the fact that Harry, a man who by his own account had spent his entire life searching for someone who would choose him, had found that person, and in the relief and the joy of finally feeling loved, had moved so fast that he could not see the full picture of what he was moving into? Because here is what we now know, documented, confirmed, and in many cases described in Harry's own words about the world Meghan came from before she met him. Marcus Anderson is a Soho House consultant who has been part of Meghan's orbit since her Suits era in Toronto. He was the gatekeeper to the world she was entering, connected, polished, and deeply embedded in the elite social circles that Meghan was navigating as a rising actress. According to royal author Katie Nicholl, it was actually Marcus Anderson who facilitated the first meeting between Harry and Meghan, arranging a gathering at a private room in Soho House in London, where about 7 or 8 people came together and Harry and Meghan met for the first time. Hello. Read that again. The man who introduced Harry to Meghan, the man who engineered the moment that changed both of their lives forever, was Meghan's closest friend from the social world she had been building for years before Harry appeared. Anderson was at the royal wedding in 2018. He was at Meghan's intimate New York baby shower in 2019. He traveled to Paris Fashion Week with Meghan in 2025. He has been photographed with her consistently across more than a decade, through the Suits years, through the royal years, through California, through everything. Marie Claire now, to be completely clear, there is nothing wrong with any of this. Having a loyal, long-term close friend is not a conspiracy. Having a well-connected friend who moves in elite circles is not evidence of manipulation. Marcus Anderson has never been charged with anything. No credible source has ever presented evidence of anything sinister about his friendship with Meghan. But here is the question that William's concern, too fast, too soon, was really pointing at. Not who Meghan was, but how well Harry actually knew the world he was marrying into. The networks, the relationships, the history, the layers of a life that had been very carefully and very successfully built before he arrived. Royal biographer Phil Dampier made a claim that went further than most, saying that the late Queen Elizabeth herself believed Harry was being manipulated by Meghan in the lead-up to their marriage. And he alleged that Meghan saw Harry as a stepping stone. ABC News stepping stone. That is an explosive claim. And it is one that Meghan has never had to answer publicly because it has always been framed as a royalist attack on a woman outsiders wanted to see fail. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Whether or not Meghan saw Harry as a stepping stone, whether the connection was purely love or partly strategy, the outcome tells its own story. Meghan entered Harry's world as a relatively unknown American actress. She left it as one of the most globally recognized women on the planet. She secured a $100 million Netflix deal. She launched a lifestyle brand. She commands speaking fees that rival heads of state. She has built, from the raw material of that relationship, something that will outlast the marriage itself regardless of what happens. Harry, on the other hand, entered the relationship as a beloved prince, complicated but deeply popular, the fun younger royal, the one who connected with ordinary people in ways the institution never quite managed. He left it stripped of his titles, estranged from his family, living in a foreign country, financially dependent on deals that are now under pressure, and, by his own admission, still not fully understanding what his brother was trying to warn him about. In his ITV interview, Harry said something that revealed more than he perhaps intended. He said William had expressed concerns very early on and said this is going to be really hard for you. And Harry's response was not to explore what William meant. It was to dismiss it, to assume it was about the press, to assume everyone around him who expressed doubt was the problem rather than the messenger. Hello. That pattern, dismissing concern as attack, interpreting doubt as jealousy, experiencing every warning as evidence of the establishment closing in, is a pattern that Harry himself has described in his memoir. It is a pattern rooted in trauma, in a childhood shaped by loss and institutional pressure, and the feeling that nobody truly had his back. And that is the most human part of this story, because Harry is not a villain in it. He is a man who wanted, more than anything, to be chosen, to be loved, to escape the machine. And when Meghan offered him all of those things simultaneously, when she was warm and funny and confident and everything the palace had never been, he ran toward her with everything he had. And in running so fast, he could not hear the people behind him trying to slow him down. A source told People magazine in 2019 that William, who dated Kate for approximately 8 years before proposing, felt close enough to Harry to voice his thoughts. The problem, the source said, was that the Cambridges felt things had moved very quickly. William was worried. He tried to tell Harry, and it cost them something in their relationship that took years to even partially repair. Reader's Digest The warning cost William his relationship with his brother. And Harry's refusal to hear it cost him things he is still counting. None of this is simple. None of it has a villain and a hero. Meghan Markle is a genuinely remarkable woman who built something from almost nothing and who loved Harry in her own way. Harry is a genuinely wounded man who made choices born from a lifetime of searching for belonging. William was a brother who tried to intervene and was pushed away. And all three of them are now living with the consequences of what happened in those years between 2016 and 2020, when everything moved too fast, too soon, and nobody listened to the warnings. The hidden truth today is not that the warnings were right. It is that they were never truly heard. And in the gap between a warning given and a warning received, between a brother trying to protect and a brother refusing to be protected, an entire family fell apart. Harry said it himself in 2023. To this day, he does not truly understand which part of what William was talking about. ABC News, maybe he does now. Maybe the distance, the deals, the documentaries, the pretzel jokes, the Met Gala bands, maybe all of it has given him the perspective that love, in 2016, made impossible. Or maybe he still believes he made the right choice. And maybe in ways that have nothing to do with palaces or Netflix or California, he did. That is the question only Harry can answer. And it is the question that this story leaves hanging in the air. If this video gave you something to think about, give it a thumbs up right now. Share it with someone following the story. And if you are not yet subscribed to Golden Crown Insider, do it now. Every single day, we bring you the truth behind the royal headlines. The ones that reveal what this family is truly carrying beneath the crown. This is Golden Crown Insider. And we will see you in the next one.